Hey folks, I'm attorney Roger P. Foley, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about prosecutors, state prosecutors, and defense attorneys. And the reason I want to talk to you about it is because I can't tell you how many dozens, probably hundreds, of potential clients have either left another firm or when they're talking to various attorneys have told me that they met with an attorney, a defense attorney, and that defense attorney says, oh yeah, I'm best friends with the prosecutor. Don't worry about this case. Oh, this case is BS. And they're giving an opinion that the case is BS and their friend, the prosecutor, is going to think it's BS and get rid of it. And don't worry about jail or probation or prison because they know the prosecutor. They were a prosecutor. Their friends were prosecutor. They have family that prosecutor. Because all of that's BS. No prosecutor is going to risk their bar license, their job, their career, right, and criminal sanctions to dismiss a case because they're friends with the defense attorney. Think about it. One day I was in court, and I'm not going to say where because everyone knows I'm throughout South Florida, but I go into court and I'm right about to talk to a prosecutor who I know fairly well, and another defense attorney is talking to him and walks over and says, hey, what can we do on this case? And the state attorney says, 364 days in the county jail. And he goes, okay. And he walks away. Now the first thing I'm thinking is like, why is he approaching him in court to ask for a plea offer, which that should be done with email and phone conversations and, articulating defenses to the case, not just like, hey, what will you give me? So, but whatever, that was my thought. So I looked at the prosecutor and I go, that's a pretty steep sentence. Like 364 for that charge? And he says, look, Raj, he goes, my job's not to play defense attorney. My job is to prosecute. It's his job as a defense attorney to show me weaknesses in the probable cause affidavit, show me case law, file motions to suppress, or at least bring some sort of argument to go, well, you're asking for 364, I'm asking for nothing. How about we meet in the middle? And I remember thinking, that's pretty shitty. Like, I was like kind of mad at the prosecutor that as I left even though I knew the guy, I was like, I don't know, that's not cool. What happens if the client gets a bad attorney? Well, that's the attorney's fault because the attorney's supposed to do these things. He's supposed to show case law. He's supposed to articulate facts that are helpful to his client to reduce the penalty on the case, right? And convince the prosecutor that there's not a case or weaken it or file a motion or set it for trial. But if you just walk over like the day of court and go, hey, what will you give me? Well, it's not the prosecutor's fault that the defense attorney is doing a crappy job for his client. The prosecutor's job is to prosecute and get convictions, right? It's not his job to look for defenses for the defendant. And again, it took me that night, I went home and thought about it. I was like, that guy's a pretty good prosecutor. And I was shocked by the statement. But then I thought about it and I went, you know what? He's absolutely right. And hopefully I never fall into that scenario where I'm like, hey, what could you give me? Like, no, I'm already going in with what I want, not what will you give me. I'm not begging anyone. I'm going to look for my defenses, tell my clients to strengthen the weaknesses, and fight the battle for them. And hopefully I can do that by talking to the prosecutor. If I can't, then I got to outwork the prosecutor. And I'm as good as my facts, and I'm as good as my passion to fight. And I got a lot of passion to fight. So, listen, having a prosecutor like you, it's nice. It's appreciated. But if all the prosecutors go, oh, he's a great guy, you know what that means? It means like you're playing dead. You're not fighting. You're making their life easy. If I make someone's life easy, if I come and cut your grass for you every week at no charge, you're going to think that I'm a pretty great guy. The problem is, as a defense attorney, if I come over and I go, okay, 364, all right, and I go and tell it to my client, and that's all I did, well then, I'm a piece of you-know-what. I'm not doing my job, and I can't expect the prosecutor to do my job, but I bet you the prosecutors will like that guy or that gal, right? So anyway, that's my view on prosecutors, and defense attorneys. I really do like prosecutors. They have a job to do. I understand that it's a different standpoint from my own, and sometimes we're going to battle, and it is what it is, and hopefully it's done with an amount of respect. You shake hands afterwards. Hey, it was a good battle. all we could do. But no matter what anyone says, it gets emotional, both for defense attorneys and for prosecutors, because you become involved with your client, right? For the prosecutor, it's a victim, or police, or with the defense attorney, it's their client. You become emotionally involved if you believe in the argument, if you believe in your client. So it's just normal that you're going to bump heads, and you hope that, hey, maybe you get mad for a couple hours, a couple days. Hopefully it doesn't last weeks or months or years, because we all have to deal with one another on a daily basis. So anyway, I'm attorney Roger P. Foley. Thanks for listening.